How's it going, everyone? This is Soul Singed here, and welcome back to my weekly BattleBot video. I'm sure you all know how this works. Sorry for being a day late. Like I said last week, they changed my schedule around a little bit, and I didn't record any audio for my predictions. I just didn't really feel like it. But you can see where I circled the ones I thought would win, and as you can see, I guessed 3 right and got 4 wrong. So without further ado, let's just get straight into the matches. First, we have Captain Shredderator versus Shatter. I really thought Captain Shredderator could win this one. They looked very good in their last match, and they still looked pretty good in this match too. It just seems like they're still struggling with some reliability issues. Shatter, on the other hand, had a pretty impressive fight. It looked like they were patient on waiting to fire the hammer, waiting for Captain Shredder to kind of break down themselves. Really paid off. And a pretty convincing win for Shatter. It's good that we finally have more than one competent hammer bot. And, yeah. I don't see Captain Shredder making the round of 32, especially with their reliability issues, but this is definitely one of the better seasons they've had. So hopefully they're on to something, and by next year they'll be in pretty good shape. Next up, we have Gigabyte versus Claw Viper. Gigabyte has really got it dialed in. After that first loss, they've really got it dialed in, and I think they're pretty much locked in for the top 32 at this point. And I feel like they could go pretty far. It doesn't seem like too much can stop them at this point. Next, we had Chomp versus Hijinks. Now, I didn't know this, but both of these bots have had 2 matches. They both had a televised match and a non-televised match. Hijinks won televised match. They didn't look all that impressive. Chomp looked pretty good. That's why I picked Chomp over Hijinks. But it seems like Chomp just has some issues here. It seems like that skirt around Chomp's legs is not as protective as everyone thought it might be. I mean, I was kind of skeptical myself. I know a lot of people were skeptical about it, but a few of Hijinks' hits just kind of bent it inward, making it very hard for Chomp to walk. And then a few of their hits, they were able to get up underneath Chomp and just kind of destroy their legs, and then that was basically it. Chomp did get 1 hit in, but it really wasn't much to it. It didn't do any damage or anything. I definitely think they're on to something with the walking Chomp. That hammer is definitely powerful. And if they can get the legs protected a little bit better and maybe get the legs a little bit speedier, I feel like they're on to something. I feel like they could definitely be a top tier contender. And next up we have Witch Doctor versus Slammo. Slammo is 2-0. Witch Doctor is 0-2. And it was do or die for Witch Doctor, and they came in with some new discs that were made out of a different material. They made a whole little deal, which I found kind of interesting about how they had to go about getting this different steel to make their blades out of. And Slammo is a well-built bot. I don't know if they'll make the top 32 just because, you know, they're not a super exciting bot. They're just a grappler. So they may not make it. Even though they're 2-1, they may not make it just because they won't seem super popular. But, I mean, they're looking pretty good. And then Witch Doctor finally looked like their old self. They're finished the season 1 and 2. They absolutely destroyed Slammo. And I feel like we're going to see him in the top 32. Mostly because of the fact that they're Witch Doctor and their first 2 matches were against very good opponents, and they did contend very well, so yeah. Extinguisher versus Gruff. It looks like Extinguisher has finally figured out whatever has been going on, because they have not looked good at all in their first 2 matches, and this is the first match where they brought out their vertical disc spinner. And that worked pretty well. I'll admit they look somewhat generic apart from the fire theme, but it was fairly competitive. It looked like Gruff had this one in the bag, but they just burnt their motors out, giving Extinguisher the win. Not a super impressive win on Extinguisher's part, but still a win no less, and looks like if they come back next year, they'll be more of a contender. And with Gruff, this might have killed their shot at making the top 32. We don't know yet. Next week, they will actually unveil the top 32, so I'm assuming this will be the last of the qualifying fights, and next week we'll be on to the round of 32. So, yeah, we'll just have to see. Perfect Phoenix versus Adam 94. Adam 94 looked decent at the beginning. They definitely look like they've been improving. They just seem like a team, like any other new team, had a lot of first-year gremlins, or whatever you want to call them, to work out. And Perfect Phoenix, once again, looked pretty good. They lost to Scorpios, which, I mean, it's Scorpios. Scorpios beat Tombstone. So, yeah. And Perfect Phoenix looked pretty well, but the fact that they never shut their weapon off, they just kind of burnt their weapon motor out, which I figured wouldn't be much of an issue since Tyler is used to driving these wedge bots. So, I mean, that's how he was able to win the wedge battle. And I definitely feel like Perfect Phoenix will make the top 32. I don't know how far they'll make it, but we'll probably see them in there. And Tombstone, because, come on, it's Tombstone. They could have went 0-3 and still made it. And then Copperhead versus Black Dragon. That was a good fight. Copperhead is the third, maybe fourth bot to go 3-0. And yeah, they look pretty damn good. Same with Black Dragon. They both looked very well. I don't have much to say. There's just two top tier bots going at it, and Copperhead just got the W here. Yeah. It's pretty interesting how all the 3-0 bots of this year are all bots that you wouldn't expect, because Copperhead was a new team. I believe they were a new team last year. Seemed somewhat decent, but nothing too special. Boom, 3-0. Same with Bloodsport, new team last year. Had some impressive moments, nothing too crazy. Boom, 3-0. Kind of regarded as the top bot this year, which I definitely would not disagree. I think Bloodsport is awesome. I love their new look. I love their new robot. They're probably one of my favorites this season. And then Jackpot, the robot built with $4,000, the cheapest bot competing, probably the cheapest besides Rusty, and they went 3-0 and took out the legend Donald Hudson. This has definitely been a really wild season, and I can't wait to get into the top 32. I don't know how I'm going to be doing the predictions on that. I guess we'll just see whenever they release who all is going to be fighting, how they're going to have that worked out. But yeah, that just about wraps up this video. Sorry for the lack of uploads outside of this series. I did actually upload another video that was more rap related. It was a top 10 best song or worst rappers, episode 3, on Lil Xan, and it got blocked for copyright, and YouTube never notified me of this or anything. So yeah, I'm still kind of struggling with that. Do have music on the way and all that, so yeah. Peace.